top stories tonight. Death toll rises to 153 in Jigawa tanker explosion. Nigerian senators pass vote of confidence on Senate President Godswill Akpabio. Court grants EFCC permission to present two witnesses virtually against former CBN Governor Godwin Emefiele. And Kenya Deputy President Gachagua falls ill minutes before testimony. Thank you for joining us. I'm Felicity Ezewike. Our coverage tonight begins with update on the unfortunate fuel tanker tragedy in Jigawa State, where we understand that the death toll from that explosion in Majia has risen to 135, with 100 people hospitalized. Police spokesperson DSP Lawan Shishu confirmed the updated figures. Victims have been buried in a mass grave, while the injured are receiving treatment at varying hospitals, including Aminu Kano and Gumel. Governor Umar Namadi expressed deep sorrow over the tragedy, visiting the site and attending the mass burial. He assured the public that the state will cover medical expenses for the injured and provide support to affected families. Namadi urged the public to prioritize safety and avoid accident sites during emergencies to prevent further casualties. Earlier, survivors recount their experience.
Ana gudun tsira take kowa ce makamu a lokacin wannan Allah ya ce mai kan mashinan da suke gurin wannan ni nawa ne kadai Allah ya sa ya tsira da ni da shi da Allah bai sa na shi cikin wannan gurin ba bayan haka da ni ma ina cikin gurin inda wannan mutane su ina tsaye haka bayan mutane su dan iba an samu wajen minti ma kanatin ma zuwa 40 ana iban wannan man ana tafiya da shi to titin ma ya bushe ba wani maganar laima ko wani abu ne daga baya kawai muna tsaye haka daidai inda mutane su kone muna ciki kawai sai wani abu buu haka ya to gaba daya shi wuta ce
thinking that it's an off. They didn't know, little did they know that it is a cause of death. So some of them that engaged in fetching this fuel were caught up with the fire. In the process of taking, there is a flash of light and the place caught.
To discuss this, we're now joined by Dr. Haruna Mariga, Executive Secretary, Jigawa State Emergency Management Agency, SEMA. Thank you for joining us. A very, very unfortunate situation in Jigawa State. Talk to us about the latest with the number of people in hospital. Media reports put it at 100. What is the latest figure that you can confirm to us? And what is the state of treatment?
The latest we have of the figure is 70 in the hospital, different hospitals. And government has already, the executive governor, Mala Umar Namadi, has already taken it. He will sponsor, he will pay the bills of all the medications.
Oh, so you're saying the earlier confirmation by the police is inaccurate?
No, we were there. We escorted the representative of the president to condole the people in the village. When we went there, we updated the record of the death toll. We saw that the death toll now is 168.
Okay.
Yeah.
70% of people already injured. What's the condition most of them are in? How is it mild to severe or more of severe cases?
No, you know, the impact will not be the same. Some are severe, some are a little bit fair, but the confirmation we receive from the doctors is that they are reacting, they are doing well. Inshallah, they will recover.
Okay, what about identification? We understand there was a mass burial for those that died. Were they identified before the burial so that their families can at least grieve?
No. Actually, the identification is something we have to start searching for the parents of, for the relative of these people. Actually, those that were buried, most of them, nobody knows who they are. Nobody knows who they are. Only the people that we can recognize is those that we took to the hospital, and some of them that have died, and their corpses were recovered to be buried at home.
So I'm not quite sure how to take that. That means there are families who might not know that they've lost a loved one in this explosion. Is that what you're saying?
Exactly. Exactly. We will start searching. We have already spoke with the commandant there, tower commandant of the civil defense, and other district heads, to be able to, maybe when you didn't see your ward or when you didn't see your relative, you will come to complain. Then from there, we will start searching who are in that mass grave.
Okay, there is a comment that one of the respondents gave in the report just before you came on, and he was saying that SEMA was already at the scene of the explosion before it occurred. Did I get that right? Were you already at the site before the explosion, or you were not?
Yeah. Hello?
Hello, I can hear you. Did you get my last question, sir?
No, not.
Okay, just something to clarify quickly. One of the respondents I heard mention in the transcription that SEMA was already at the premises just before the explosion. Does that mean SEMA was aware of the tanker falling over before the explosion occurred?
No, we were there when it has occurred. We immediately reached the place to evacuate the victims. We separated the dead one and the one that had accident. We were taken to the hospital.
Okay, what more is SEMA doing for the people in the hospital? I know the government has already said that they're going to, take care of their hospital bills, but what more is the state emergency service, or what can you do for them?
What we do there is to follow the trail of the treatment. What were they being treated? To follow that if there is any need they are requiring, like the people they are staying with, we took care of them up to the time they will be discharged from the hospital. All
right. I guess I'll have to leave it there for now, and good luck with the work that you do. Thanks for speaking with us.
Thank you very much.
Let's now tell you that the federal government has issued a warning to Nigerians living near the river Benue to move to safer areas as water levels rise due to heavy rainfall. The Nigerian Hydrological Services Agency raised the alarm, saying the flooding risk is high. The agency's Director General, Umar Mohammed, also advised those along the River Niger to relocate as dam managers at Kanji and Jebba work to control water flow. He urged Nigerians to cooperate with the emergency agencies to minimize flood damage. This follows the release of water from the Lado Dam in Cameroon, which has caused widespread flooding in recent years, including deadly incidents in 2023 and 2024. Coming up, CNG vehicle explodes, injures 3 in Edo State. Details after the break. Do stay with us. If you've just joined us, you're watching Tonight. A reminder of our top stories. Death toll rises to 153 in Jigawa tanker explosion. Nigerian senators pass vote of confidence on Senate President Godswill Akpabio. Court grants EFCC permission to present 2 witnesses virtually against former CBN Governor Godwin Emefiele. Kenya Deputy President Gachagua falls ill minutes before testimony. The Federation Accounts Allocation Committee, FAC, has distributed 1.298 trillion naira to the federal, state and local governments as revenue for September 2024. This was announced following the FAC meeting held in Abuja on Thursday. The breakdown of the distributable revenue includes 124.7 billion naira in statutory revenue, 543.5 billion from value-added tax, 18.4 billion naira from the electronic money transfer levy, and 462.2 billion naira from exchange difference revenue, and an additional 150 billion naira in augmentation. A communique from the FAC meeting revealed that the total revenue for September 2024 was 2.258 trillion naira. Of this, 80.9 billion naira was deducted for the cost of collection, while 878.9 billion naira went to transfers, interventions, and refunds. In September, gross statutory revenue stood at 1.043 trillion naira, a decline of 177.4 billion naira from August's 1.221 trillion naira. However, VAT revenue increased to 583.7 billion naira, a rise of 10.3 billion naira from August's figure of 573.3 billion naira. Nigeria's former president, Goodluck Jonathan, has accused the nation's Supreme Court of instigating crisis in the nation's political parties following various court judgments expected to resolve their internal party differences. Speaking at the 67th birthday celebration of senior advocate of Nigeria, Michael Zakome, Jonathan expressed concerns about the ruling, saying that this contradicts the natural order of governance.
When I look at how nation works, I have never seen a system where a sub-unit can discipline the top. For PDP exactly, of course Baba knows, in the constitution of PDP, if you're a national officer, even your state cannot discipline you. Not to talk about a ward officers that are not even members of NEC, the National Executive Council. And we are saying that a ward chairman of a party can suspend and expel a national chairman of a political party. I'm pleading with the Supreme Court to review their judgment. Because that judgment has turned the cone upside down. And the political process, the democracy is wobbling.
And to one of our lead stories tonight, Nigerian senators have unanimously passed the vote of confidence in the leadership of Senate President Godswill Akpabio in a show of solidarity. This comes in response to social media reports on Wednesday suggesting that some northern senators were plotting to impeach the Senate president. During Thursday's plenary, former Senate leader Yahya Abdullahi raised a point of order, addressing the allegations and expressing his concerns about the publication that claimed northern senators were behind the impeachment move. Abdullahi, who represents Kebbi North, described the accusation as a violation of his constitutional rights as a citizen and lawmaker. In response, Senate President Akpabio expressed his gratitude for the unwavering support from his colleagues and reassured them of his commitment to providing strong and effective leadership.
And I can assure you that there has been no attempt that I know of by any caucus or any group among Labour senators to bring this code or make any attempt to challenge the legitimacy of your election or to undermine the good work that we have been doing in this Senate. I think it is important for some of us that are probably being seen as the frontliners to say, without consulting my friends, my colleagues from the North, that I move that will enforce a vote of confidence in both you, the Senate President, and the Deputy Senate President, and the entire leadership of the National Assembly in this regard.
Senator Ningi has moved a motion that a vote of confidence should be passed on the leadership of the Senate, and seconded by the Senior Senator Abbas. This is further amended by the minority leader of the Senate, that it should be the entirety of the Senate and not just Northern senators. And this has also been further seconded by the Senior Senator Sani Musa. In a very humble way, I feel humbled, but I'm obligated to put the question. Those who support that this vote of confidence on the Senate leadership be carried, say aye. Those against, say nay. They are not here. The ayes have it.
Let's now bring you the latest from Rivers State. The governor, Siminalayi Fubara, emphasized that Nigeria needs strong institutions, not powerful individuals, to foster democracy and good governance. Speaking at the rededication service for the 2024-2025 new legal year at St. Paul's Cathedral, Port Harcourt, Governor Fubara urged judges to remain courageous in upholding truth despite threats and frivolous petitions. He stressed that the country's progress depends on institutional strength, not individual control. The governor also criticized judges who act unprofessionally, reminding them of their vital role in society and the importance of maintaining judicial integrity.
Let me say it here so you understand. Judges, you are the God that we are seeing. Your position is to stand and defend us. Your position is to look at whoever and tell the person the truth. Because if you don't do it here, you have a big question to answer. The preacher said it. Every evil done in the course of administrative justice, you will pay for it dearly. Look at what today, the up and downs in this state. When everybody knows that whatever we're getting from that end, I don't want to call their name, are but judgments. Everybody knows. But I'm not bothered about it. Like the word said here, it will come to an end.
Staying in Rivers State, the State House of Assembly, led by Speaker Victor Okojumbo, has resolved to invoke constitutional provisions against 25 lawmakers loyal to the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike. These members are accused of defecting to another party, resulting in the loss of their seats under Section 99 of the Constitution. House Leader Sokari condemned the actions of the defectors and called for immediate action. The Deputy Speaker, Adolphus Orubienimiga, urged the House to hold them accountable. The Speaker also criticized the INEC for not conducting by-elections to fill the vacant seats since December 2023. Meanwhile, the House approved Governor Siminalayi Fubara's request to appoint 5 special advisors to accelerate development in the state. Let's discuss this and other developments in Rivers State House of Assembly. To help us with some perspective is lawyer, public affairs analyst, and a politician, Sogbeyi Eli. Sogbeyi, thank you for joining us. What is your legal opinion on this said resolve to invoke the provisions of the Constitution against the 25 members loyal to Nyesom Wike?
Well, good evening. Thanks for having me. It's a long journey. This started from way back last year. We recorded in October when an attempt was made to impeach the governor by lawmakers, as you rightly pointed out, were loyal to the immediate past governor of Rivers State, Nyesom Wike. Well, we have moved beyond that point to a point where same lawmakers, on their own volition, publicly announced a defection to the All Progressives Congress. Of course, you know the uproar that followed. Then what we have now is can't even after the matters, the ones that went to court by December 11. I think Matt's filed an application motion as part of seeking some restraining orders to prove his seat and that of the 26 others with him. Somehow, when that application was granted and then the process became public, particularly with respect to the damage supporting this application, the defense of the APC. And then that's actually thereabouts. The House of Assembly, then the current chief of staff, government as well, it's here, on the pronouncement of a high court in Rivers State, Justice Monima Danagogo, recognizing him as speaker, duly declared those seats vacant and forwarded the communication to INEC to conduct elections to fill those vacant seats by force of violation of Section 109, sub 1, sub G, 1999 Constitution. Well, we've been digged down, it's been digged down all along, and you want to ask the question why up to now, no federal high court are taking that application. A lot of people filed, some other interest groups filed, some NGOs filed.
Sorry to interject, but I was just trying to get your legal view on this talk about invoking the Constitution. We know that there are some issues preceding this. I'm just talking specifically on this resolution. Is there going to be anything out of it for you?
Which resolution? I'd like to be clear on that.
Okay, the speaker, the one that is led by Victor Okojumbo, has resolved to invoke constitutional provisions against the 25 lawmakers loyal to the minister. He's saying that they should not be part of it. And he's also talking about INEC not conducting the needed by-elections to fill up the vacant seats since they wrote to the body about it.
Well, I wouldn't want to be drawn to the propriety otherwise of what he has said in terms of what the Constitution says. As I took you back memory lane to what has been done as far back as December last year by the man who was then Speaker on the orders of the High Court of Rivers State. Do not forget, the order of that High Court was not vacated. It was an interim order and it was executed by itself after 7 days elapsed. But the action that was taken by Etsnehi was not challenged in court. All we had was that another High Court in Abuja, this time Justice James Omotosho, nullified his actions. And the question I want to ask is, I'm going to get back to Victor Okojumbo, but I need to lay this foundation for you to understand. Can the Federal High Court sit on appeal, as it were, on the decision of the High Court of Rivers State, since they share the same jurisdiction? They call it coordinate or concurrent jurisdiction. My answer is no. So instead of challenging the action of Etsnehi as Speaker at the appellate court level, they took another suit in the Federal High Court, and the Federal Court purportedly nullified, as it were, every action taken by a man who acted on the orders of a state high court. That, for us, is the problem. Now, if that had been leveled out, we wouldn't be here where Okojumbo, who stepped in after Etsnehi resigns from the House to become appointed as governor's chief of staff, and then was still dealing with the same subject. So this is the issue. If the constitutional steps taken then were followed through by those who think the rule of law is what we used to sort this problem out, I'm not sure we'll be repeating the same thing that Okojumbo is saying now.
All right, I'm told we're out of time for this conversation, but I just want to clarify for our viewers and so people actually know. I introduced you as a lawyer, public affairs analyst, and a politician. I believe you must have an affiliation. So to which of these factions or which of these leanings do you belong?
I'm a member of the All Progressives Congress. I don't have any affiliation with any of them.
All right.
And I speak here in this matter, not as an affiliate with anybody.
Thank you very much for that clarification, and thank you for speaking with us.
Thank you for having me.
Let's turn our attentions now to more election matters. Nigeria's electoral body, the Independent National Electoral Commission, has fixed Saturday, the 8th of November 2025, for the upcycle election in Anambra State. The electoral body, while meeting with heads of political parties as part of its fourth regular consultative meeting, also informed those present of the preparation for the upcoming Ondo State governorship election slated for November 16 this year. Amadine Uyi reports.
It was the fourth regular consultative meeting with political parties and Nigeria's electoral body. The chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission gave representatives of political parties present an update on preparations for the upcoming Ondo State governorship poll.
With just 29 days or 4 weeks to the Ondo State governorship election, today's meeting is no exception. Only 2 days ago, the Commission presented the register of voters to political parties in our state office in Akure. With this development, we have successfully accomplished 10 out of 13 activities listed in the timetable and schedule of activities for the election. The 3 remaining activities are the publication of the notice of poll, the last day of campaign, and election day.
He also informed them that the electoral body has set a date for the Anambra State governorship election, which has been slated for November 8 next year.
The Commission has approved that the 2025 Anambra State governorship election will hold on Saturday, 8th November 2025. In compliance with the mandatory requirement of 360 days, the formal notice for the election will be published on the 13th of November 2024. Party primaries will be held from 20th March 2025 to 10th April 2025. The candidate nomination portal will open at 9 a.m. on 18th April 2025 and close at 6 p.m. on 12th May 2025.
The chairman of the Inter-Party Advisory Council urged the electoral body to play its role as an electoral umpire without bias, improving the process.
Nigerians expect INEC to improve on the Saturday, 16 November 2024 Ondo State governorship election. Council urges stakeholders in the electoral process to also join in voters' education, sensitization, and mobilization to ensure free, fair, credible, transparent, inclusive, and peaceful election that will meet international standards. IPAC will lead from the front in voters' mobilization as a major stakeholder and urge political parties and their candidates to imbibe issue-based campaign and eschew politics of bitterness.
Nigeria's electoral body urged political parties to help mobilize registered voters to come out en masse and collect their permanent voters' card ahead of the upcoming polls. In Abuja for News Central, I am Amadine Uyi.
In Plateau State, over 300 certificates of return have been presented to councillors who were victorious at the just concluded October 9 local government elections. The returning officer, who doubles as the chairman of Plateau State Independent Electoral Commission, said the candidates fulfilled all the necessary requirements before, during, and after the election. News Center's Chizoba Anyowe completes the report.
The October 9 local council election in Plateau State was met with many ups and downs. A few disappointments were experienced by the electoral body, PLASIEC, especially where the BVAS wasn't available, and the alternative, the voter verification system, also failed in many polling units. One thing that was remarkable was the peaceful conduct of the polls, which was commended by many people, both within and outside the state. It was on this premise that the electoral process came to a conclusive end with the presentation of certificates of return to over 300 councillors across the 17 local government areas of the state.
As far as my rating is concerned, it was conducted free and fair, and winners have emerged. So we have leaders at the grassroots at the moment, and I want to assure you, with what the governor is doing, coming to add the value of those that have been elected as local government chairmen and deputies, you will see progress, you will see development, we will see more peace and unity in Plateau State.
To me, I feel it's one of the best elections so far, an election that a result was announced properly, the due process was followed.
I go to my village to participate in election. With the hardship, I couldn't go. And coupled with, even if you vote, they will declare what they want.
They feel the same exercise, which will hold next in 2027, will be better coordinated.
We are not afraid of the new crave to have a separate electoral body to come and conduct local government elections. But if that bill passes through and is accented into law, as citizens of Nigeria and people that are interested in democratic principles will also accept it as a state and will move forward.
Is to work on the beavers, which we had a lot of challenges on the failure of beavers here and then, and they can make some improvement to that.
A situation whereby what you do is different from what they announce, you don't get motivated to come out and vote. But by the grace of God, with prayers, we know Nigeria will change. So we'll still come out and vote.
The chairman of Plasiek, Plank Jichishak, has announced a rerun of the election in 9 wards of 6 local government areas where there were reports of electoral irregularities. However, a date is yet to be announced for the polls. In Jos for News Central, Chizoba Anyonwe.
Many thanks, Chizoba. A high court in the Federal Capital Territory, Maitama, has granted the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, permission to present 2 witnesses virtually in the ongoing trial of the former governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, Godwin Emefiele. The decision came after Justice Marianne Aneni, who ruled in favor of the EFCC's request to allow the witnesses currently residing abroad to testify via video link. Emefiele faces a 6-count charge, which includes accusations of unlawfully printing new naira notes. The case, which was adjourned last week, is set to continue October 17 after the testimony of the prosecution's 4th witness, former CBN Deputy Governor Edward Adamu, was completed. Let's now tell you that the CNG-powered vehicle explosion at a filling station in Aduwawa, Benin City, left 3 people seriously injured. According to multiple videos posted online, the blast, which occurred on Wednesday, was linked to an improperly fabricated cylinder by a welder. Among the injured are a motorist with eye injuries, a woman with severe stomach injuries, and another person who had a foot amputated. All victims are receiving treatment at the University of Benin Teaching Hospital. Authorities confirmed the welder turned himself in to the police. The president's CNG initiative expressed sympathy, emphasizing the need for strict safety compliance and announcing investigations by the police and regulatory bodies. The incident highlights the importance of safe CNG handling and the upcoming Nigeria gas vehicle monitoring system. UNICEF recognizes that climate change has a disproportionate impact on children, particularly those living in poverty. The organization views climate change as a child's rights crisis, directly threatening children's survival, growth, and development. Speaking exclusively to News Central, the Assistant Secretary General and Deputy Executive Director of Partnerships of UNICEF said climate change exposes children to extreme weather events, water scarcity, and diseases, which can lead to malnutrition, displacement, and even death.
Sure that children from conception to the end of adolescence have every right to survive, to thrive, and to be equipped for a future that looks very different than when I left high school. So we're really here from humanitarian crisis to development to skilling of young people for a green economy to make sure that we invest together with the public sector, so the government of Nigeria, with the private sector partners, to make sure that children actually have every chance in the world to escape what you were just mentioning, deep entrenched poverty and marginalization. First of all, we need to do what the president has said at the budget speech in 2023. He literally said, children are the foundation of the future. And that is so true. So investing in children is an economically rational decision. It's not a cherry on the cake. It is an essential part of the recipe of economic transformation to make sure that children are healthy, that they're educated, that they are equipped, but also, and this is an important part for the future of Nigeria with a very young population, that they're skilled with the green and digital skills that will actually land them a job, which is a pathway to a life in dignity and prosperity. So across the entire chain, listening to those words, children are the foundation of the future. Let's invest in them because they're worthy of every investment.
Still ahead, Kenya's Deputy President Gachagua falls ill minutes before testimony. We'll tell you more when we return. Stay with us. Thanks for staying with us. In East Africa, Kenyan Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua has fallen ill just minutes before he was set to take the stand as a key witness. This is according to his lawyer, Paul Muite. Meanwhile, Senate Speaker Amason Kingi has since suspended the impeachment trial, giving Gachagua's legal team 2 hours to locate him. However, Amason Kingi said failure to do that, the hearing will continue without the Deputy President. Meanwhile, we understand that Kenyan Senate has voted to remove Deputy President in historic impeachment. Let's head on now to our business desk for today's business updates.
Business news in association with Money Master PSB, the easy way to master your money.
The Nigerian Economic Summit may have ended, but its latest gathering still had many notable talking points, one of which is the session with the governor of Nigeria's central bank, Olayemi Cardoso. The Apex Bank governor talked about his work and the mandate of the financial regulator under him.
It's a normal macroeconomic response to inflationary pressures. The markets will always struggle whenever there is inflationary pressures, because then what it means is that whenever there is inflation, companies in the stock market suffer some considerable level of difficulty in carrying out their day-to-day business. So that plays a role in how investors view stocks during inflationary pressures. Right? So it is a normal thing. I think that, and of course, anticipation of the response. Most times I tell people that inflation comes as one part of the conversation, interest rates come as the other response. So the investors will look at that and say, okay, yes, this is these figures continue based on the 2-month retracement we saw. I call it a retracement. I don't think it was a reversal because we still have those inflationary factor risk are still there.
Ajay Banga, the president of the World Bank, introduced a new corporate scorecard on Thursday, reducing the number of progress indicators from 150 to 22. This streamlined accountability tool is designed to sharpen the bank's focus on measurable outcomes and make it easier to evaluate its progress. Banga emphasized that the new system is aimed at enhancing clarity and outputs without diminishing the institution's ambitions. This announcement comes ahead of next week's World Bank and IMF semi-annual gathering of global financial leaders in Washington, United States, where Banga will also review reforms undertaken since he assumed leadership in June 2023 to make the bank bigger and better. The Securities and Exchange Commission has announced plans to simplify funding access for smaller firms. In an interview, SEC Director General Dr. Emomotimi Agama explained that crowdfunding, originally an online strategy for raising donations to support creative projects, is now being promoted as a key tool for small businesses and startups seeking investment capital. Agama highlighted that crowdfunding offers a modern way for smaller enterprises to secure the financial backing needed to launch and grow their ventures, reflecting the SEC's efforts to broaden access to capital markets for emerging businesses. And that's all on business news. I am Lekon Onobanjo.
Business news in association with Money Master PSB, the easy way to master your money.
For sports lovers, some updates for you now.
Sports Update, brought to you by Corn Oil. Corn Oil, we go the extra mile.
Hello and welcome to Sports. Lagos State will host the 10th edition of the Zainab Saleh International Female Karate Open Championships. The tournament will be held in conjunction with the Lagos State Karate Association and will begin on October 19th at the Molade Okoya Thomas Hall of the Teslim Balogun Stadium. The tournament, aimed at promoting female karatekas, is a ranking event on the Karate Federation of Nigeria's calendar and will follow World Karate Federation rules. Categories at the event include cadet, junior and under 21, with participants from Nigeria, Togo and Benin Republic. Zainab Saleh, who is the organizer of the event as well as vice chairman of the Lagos State Karate Association, highlighted the competition as crucial for female karate talent development in West Africa.
I said to myself that I would like to deal with women, particularly because there's so many issues in society. And I've always believed, and I still believe, that a woman should have the skills to defend herself. And because I'm a practitioner of karate, I believe that this is one of the best ways that a woman should be able to learn to defend herself. So that was one of the aims. Also because I noticed that when we have national competitions or competitions generally, you see the level of male karate and female karate at very wide angles. It's like the female karate was not as good as the male. So when you come for a championship, you'll always hear the men jumping up and down and doing things, but the women, their technical abilities were not very prominent. So I wanted to change that narrative. And this is one of the reasons why I had introduced this particular thing.
President of the International Table Tennis Federation, Petra Soling, has pledged strong support for the newly elected African Table Tennis Federation Executive Council during the elective annual general meeting on October the 15th in Addis Ababa. Soling praised Africa's vast talent in table tennis and expressed optimism about the future of the sport on the continent under the new leadership.
We now today have achieved a teamwork here, and I can also see so many possibilities. We know that you have a lot of talents here in Africa. We know that table tennis is a sport that fits for all for life. And we as ITF, we are here to serve and to help every one of you. And I'm sure that with the new leadership that you have elected, so with that I'd like to congratulate Wahid. Wahid said here,
Ikorodu City secured a vital away point against Heartland at the Dan Anyam Stadium in Owerri on match day 7 of the Nigeria Premier Football League on Thursday. Salau Yusuf gave the Oga boys an early lead in the 5th minute, but Chukwuma Agos' 75th minute long-range strike leveled the score, earning Heartland a point. Despite the draw, Ikorodu City remains 20th on the table, while Heartland climbed to 15th place. Elsewhere, Remo Stars suffered a 3-1 defeat to Plateau United in Jos. Franklin Ebuka's hat-trick of headers in the 4th, 64th and 70th minutes secured victory for the Jos-based side. And finally, Luis Enrique, head coach of French giants Paris Saint-Germain, has signed a contract extension with the club, keeping him until June 2027. The agreement in place since September solidifies Enrique's role as a key figure in PSG's long-term project. He has overseen 62 matches for the club, achieving 40 wins and 14 draws while suffering only 8 losses.
Sports Update, brought to you by Corn Oil. Corn Oil, we go the extra mile.
Up next is entertainment.
Entertainment news in association with Glow Unlimited.
Tonight on Entertainment News, Nigerian music star Tiwa Savage is set to release her highly anticipated single, Forgiveness, on Friday, October 18th, 2024. The announcement was made on her Instagram, where she posted a teaser video of herself dancing to the track, alongside a caption urging fans to get ready for the release. The single follows a teaser shared on October 7th, 2024. Earlier in 2024, Tiwa Savage released the soundtrack album for her debut film, Water and Gary, featuring collaborations with top artists like Olamide and Arya Star. She also dropped the music video for Commoner in July and One Heart in September, which was part of the animated film Ozzy, Voice of the Forest. Fans are eagerly awaiting the release of this standout track. Simon Cowell is taking a brief step back from the public eye following the tragic death of his former protege, Liam Payne. The 31-year-old singer, best known as a member of One Direction, died after falling from a hotel balcony in Buenos Aires while supporting former bandmate Neil Horan's show. In light of the tragedy, Cowell's long-running competition series, British Got Talent, cancelled its Thursday taping. This came as no surprise given Simon's close relationship with Liam, who he mentored on the X Factor UK, where the boy band finished third before going on to achieve global superstardom under Cowell's Psycho Records. In addition to British Got Talent's postponement of auditions in Blackpool, many celebrities paid tribute to Liam. Cowell and the X Factor team expressed their heartbreak over the loss, acknowledging Liam's immense talent and the lasting impact of his work in One Direction. As the music world mourns, more tributes and developments are expected to follow. That's all on Entertainment Tonight.
Entertainment news in association with Glow Unlimited.
And it's a wrap tonight. But before we go, a quick look at some of the major stories. Death toll has risen to 153 in Jigawa tanker explosion. Nigerian senators have passed vote of confidence on Senate President Godswill Akpabio. Court has granted EFCC permission to present 2 witnesses virtually against former CBN Governor Godwin Emefiele. And Kenyan Deputy President Gachagua took ill minutes before testimony. You can catch up on all the latest stories joining us News Central Live on DSTV channel 422, Star Times channel 274, Avo TV and on YouTube. Thank you for watching. Good night.